Welcome to another day. Here we are. It's good to have you with me. The birds have calmed down, but we'll see what happens. Every day is different. Today's dedication is for Deb S and Papa S. So, thinking of you, we're going to, I just said every day brings something different, but we're going to revisit what we talked about yesterday, but hopefully with a different level of understanding. I'm going to start with a question I received via comments. Still confused about the difference between devotion and love? You use them interchangeably. I'll see if I can try to clarify what my intention was to get across. People will say devotion is love, but according to the Gita and many other spiritual works, devotion is any kind of emotional connection. So yes, real love is a devotion, but you can also be devoted to somebody because you hate them or you fear them. That is, you keep a connection. Like, let's say you hate somebody and you keep tabs on them because you despise them so much, or it's somebody who was a family member who abused you and you're still connected through that hate or even fear. You might interact with the world out of fear more than love. And that's what you're devoting your time and energy to. So if you devote your time to fear, that's devotion. I hope that makes more sense. And yes, you can be devoted to your true self. That's the whole thrust of the Gita. Killer acorns today is Arjun, representing the ego bound self, is totally devoted to his friend Krishna. Pardon me, I'm a little phlegmy today. So if lots of times people wonder what is love. I mean, we try to define it in our own minds. We write poems about it and songs about it, but English especially is horrible, in my opinion, about love because we've only got one word for it, and people use love to mean lots of other things, including in pop music, it seems to mean sex a lot. Oh, those things can be conflated. Let's think about connection. If you want a working definition of love, this could be a working definition of any emotion, but love, if you think of how you feel when you love or are in love, what does that do for your body? That's very healthy generally, and it uplifts us and it inspires us, and we can move beyond ourselves through love. I think I may have mentioned this before. If my nephew needed a kidney transplant, I don't like surgery, but I would undergo surgery for him. It would make me really step outside my boundaries, let me tell you, because I feel connected to him in a way that I don't feel connected with many others. So that would be a devotion. So connection through love uplifts us. Connection through other emotions are fine if you want them, but you have to be aware of the toll that's going to take upon you. Think of people you know who are so hateful and spiteful, and that's how they see the world, is through these hateful, spiteful lenses, or through fear that is isolating, for example. And if you choose that, that's great. Anger is another one. Anger is chosen in our culture a lot because anger is seen as strong, whereas grief is seen as weak. Okay, so maybe you choose anger, and whatever you choose is okay, but you just have to be aware of the effect that will have on you. That's why many traditions will say Bhakti Yoga is about love, because that's the one that's going to make you best. And think if everybody in the world showed you love, what would the world be like? If everybody in traffic showed each other love, what would traffic be like? Fabulous. So if you want a more working definition of love or any other strong emotion, you can think of it as connection. When a mother has the baby inside, they are physically connected. Then the baby comes, and the rest of life is spent navigating shifting connections. Can you imagine walking around with a 45-year-old child still connected to you by the navel? No. So there's all that. And that's part of the journey of people together as they age, is managing shifting connections. But the core is always connection. How are you connecting with somebody? So if you want to love somebody, that implies that you're connected to them. I mean, think of the people that you really love or feel love for. They're either in your life now significantly or have been in the past to such an extent that you can be away from them for a period of time and you're still connected with them here or here, or I suppose here or here. Anyway, looking at pictures, hearing their song, their voice. Yeah. So if you want a definition of unconditional love, it could be also unconditional hate or unconditional fear, but unconditional love, you pledge to stay connected to somebody in a loving way no matter what they do. That's the connection. Even if you're not physically present, you're thinking of them, you're holding them in your heart, you're doing things behind the scenes that are good for them. And if you want to think of universal love, that's seeing a loving connection to every single thing. Whenever you have a chance to connect with something. So here I have a door frame. I love you, door frame. When I love my door frame and my doors, I treat them differently than if they're just frustrating, annoying things that get stuck when the temperature changes, which maybe they are. So I can shift my whole view. But I love my marigolds, even though they die every year at this time. It saddens me, but they'll be back next year. I'm still connected. I take care of their seeds all winter long. I chant over their seeds, for example. So maybe that gives you more of a working definition, if you needed one, of love, or an idea of how you can bring more love to a particular relationship, to the world. But it's hard because once you truly feel connected in a loving way to something, that's how you transform. You feel connected to everybody in a loving way and you feel their pain. You feel connected to animals in a loving way and you feel their pain. And that's why a lot of people avoid unconditional love and unconditional connection, because love makes us feel, makes us healthier, makes us happier. But we also have to deal with feeling, being willing to open ourselves up to the whole emotional spectrum. And that's another thing love does. Anger and hate and fear can isolate us. Love opens us up to everything. You can be angry with somebody and still love them. That is a valuable lesson in life. I'm going to go pose now. Will you join me in a balanced practice? Do it however you want. You can do it sitting, lying down. If you can do it standing on your head, please send me a picture because I'd love to see it. Let's switch sides. I love you, mums. Okay. I invite you to contemplate 5 minutes on this idea of connection versus disconnection. Ready, set, meditate. I might have been a little vague. Maybe let's try that again. Contemplate the way you want to be connected to the world, or maybe disconnected. How are you showing up and being connected with what's around you, and how are you staying disconnected? That's it. Now, ready, set, meditate. What a delightful time with you today. I hope we can keep connecting, just like Arjun and Krishna do throughout their lives. May we become very good friends. Love to you, and until next time.